Hi. So, I've been sort of not really knowing stuff to talk about. I had like a list of topics, but then I deleted them all because I don't know, I just did. They all seem stupid. But um I'm sort of inspired today to talk about something that sort of has a little bit of a background story as to how I decided to, you know, come to this topic. So, the other day I was home because I generally go home on the weekends because I work back at home instead of at school. Um, and so me and my sister were home. My brother and my dad were out. My mom was still at work. And so me and my sister are home alone, and she's 3 years older than me. She comes home at least, and at least like a night a week, so that we can all have family dinner together. And so she and I are polar opposites. I mean, she doesn't wear any makeup. She wears jeans and t-shirts. She works in a cow barn. She'd be considered sort of rednecky. That's how I would describe most of her friends. Bumfuck Vermont hicks. That type of thing. I mean, don't get me wrong. They're not bad people. They're perfectly fine for the culture that they grew up in. But she's really embraced that life, and I've sort of gone in the opposite direction. But so our clothing styles are completely different. Our work preferences are different. Our favorite TV shows are different. Our favorite foods are different. And our favorite music tastes are very, very different. I would consider myself a music snob, mostly because, there isn't a type of genre that I don't like. Even if it's something, I think like the one genre of music I really don't like is country. Because, not because it's bad, but because, I really can't connect to it, and, it feels very repetitive, and, there's hardly ever any range, vocal range. There's hardly ever harmonies. It seems very simple to me, and the thing that attracts me to music is complexities, harmonies, rhythms, things that sort of you have to listen to it a couple times to really get, but of course, her being, working in a farm, wearing Carhartts and camo and shit kickers, she really, country is like her favorite type of music. So like we really don't get along, and it's always a giant argument. And don't get me wrong, I don't mind listening to country, but we always get into these huge arguments over music because it's just so I guess funny would be when I'm listening to my music and she gets all upset because she doesn't like this, and this is a stupid song, blah blah blah, blah. And I just think it's funnier to get a reaction out of her than to put up with her music that I find boring and tedious. Plus, I am a very strong personality, and my it's a lot of my family is like this. It's my way or no way. And so I would say that I've got a very strong personality. With people that I know really well, people that I've known for a long time, my close friends and my family, I have a very, very strong personality. To people that I don't know so well, or people I'm just meeting, I'm very meek and quiet. But once you get to know me, I'm kind of strong-willed, I guess would be the nice way of putting it. So, when I'm home on the weekends, we've got a family computer that sits on the kitchen counter, so that my mom can look up recipes while she's cooking and stuff like that. And, the kitchen is right in the middle of the house, so I turn on Pandora onto my radio station that I listen to, and, turn up the speakers so you can hear it all throughout the house. And it's like that for the entire weekend when I'm home. And if somebody dares to turn off my music, then they face my wrath. And so a lot of times when my sister does like a type of music that I like, it's often months or even years after I've already discovered it. And so, songs that have been on my iPod for, 2 or 3 months that I've already got memorized, that I already have all the harmonies memorized too, and I already know everything about them. She'll come home and be like, I heard the greatest song today, it's this, and I'll be like, oh yeah, I totally are. I already heard that, I heard that way before you did. But so we were, popular songs right now, like the chart toppers, we were watching music videos for, and neither of us generally like the chart toppers, the top 40s type stuff. I usually go for more indie type music, and she goes for country, which doesn't usually top the charts unless it's Taylor Swift, who, don't even get me started on Taylor Swift. But we were just watching music videos of, songs that are popular right now, Katy Perry, Miley Cyrus, Imagine Dragons, the stuff that's Lord, it's on the top of the charts. And I got Wrecking Ball stuck in my head, and so, a little while later when everybody was home and we were sitting down to dinner, I was, sort of singing, I came in like a wrecking ball. And my brother's like, oh my god, you're singing Miley Cyrus, that's so gross. I was like, why, Gabriel, what's wrong with Miley Cyrus? And he's like, she's just so slutty and weird. And I'm like, excuse you, Miley is just being Miley, and she can do whatever she wants, and you don't get mad at any men for doing the same type of things that she's doing. How come she gets in trouble for it? How come you think she's a slut for not wearing many clothes and for doing all these like ridiculous things? And he's like, oh my god, has your school turned you into a feminist or something? Gross. And I'm like, whoa, there is nothing wrong with being a feminist. I mean, seriously, I don't understand why there's so many negative connotations around it. And like, especially with men, there are all sorts of negative, like women empowerment, burn your bras, let's kill all men type of stuff. And that's not feminism. That's the same thing as misogyny. I mean, it's like when you think that a man is in charge and should be, when you think a man is superior, that's misogyny. When you think a woman is superior, it's, I don't remember the technical word, which I really should know, but, feminist means that you believe that women and men are equal. And we live in a patriarchal society. There's no getting around that. I'm sorry, it's true. We live in a patriarchal society. And, with artists like Miley Cyrus right now, I mean, she is, I think that she's awesome. I don't particularly like very much of her music. It's not a genre that I generally get into. Just like I don't normally like Katy Perry, but I still think she's great. I don't like Lady Gaga's music, but I think she's amazing. I don't like Rihanna's music, but her voice is killer. She's an incredible singer. Just because I don't like your music doesn't mean I don't like you as a person. It doesn't mean that I don't recognize your talents. And with Miley Cyrus, I think she's getting the most flack right now, ever since her VMA performance and, chopping off all of her hair. She's been getting a lot of flack for the various things that she's doing. And honestly, I say rock on, Miley. I mean, first of all, the whole VMA performance, and I know that this has been talked to death, so I'm not gonna do a thing. These were rehearsed, choreographed musical numbers. I don't understand why everybody's so surprised by Miley and, you know, how she was dancing and the whole Robin Thicke thing. Because this was something that they had rehearsed multiple times. It had been choreographed by someone else. You know, people are like, why was Miley dancing up on Robin like that? Oh my god, he has a wife and kids. He was at the rehearsals too. I mean, why is Miley only getting flack for this from, you know, everyone? Robin Thicke was there. He was just as an active participant as Miley was. And you don't see him getting in trouble for doing that when he's got happily married and has kids. You know, it's just Miley. And I mean, like other stuff that she's doing, you know, like the Wrecking Ball music video, it was weird and it was eccentric, but that is an incredibly good song. And like, I mean, I know I'm biased because I'm a white girl, and that song is very appealing to white girls. But like, I mean, if you actually listen to like the harmonies and like the vocals, I mean, I have been taking voice lessons since I was in 7th grade. That's, you know, a long time. I mean, a really long time. And, you know, I've been when I was in high school, I was very involved in the music program and the musicals and theater and stuff like that. And, you know, general performance type stuff. And I'm still involved with it in college, but not as much because, you know, I'm double majoring, so I don't exactly have a lot of free time. But I still take voice lessons, and I still sing and stuff like that. I'm still very much involved with music. And so, I mean, that's something that I look for when I look for music that I like is, you know, when you've got a really good vocalist. I mean, you've got people like, I mean, who are hated by a lot of people, like Miley Cyrus, like Lady Gaga, like Katy Perry. And even though there's not a lot of their music that, you know, I would, you know, buy or listen to, when they come on the radio, I can appreciate how good their voices are. I mean, you know, you've got Demi Lovato, who has an amazing voice, even though I don't particularly like much of her music. I mean, and of course, with all of these people, I do have a lot of their music on my computer, on my iPod and stuff like that, because they're incredible. I mean, I hate country music, you know, it's boring and tedious. It's no secret that I don't like it. It's not a genre that appeals to me. But I have plenty of country music on my computer because I can recognize when a vocalist is really talented. And, you know, I mean, you've got like Miranda Lambert and Carrie Underwood and Blake Shelton and, you know, I mean, obviously there are other artists, Tim McGraw. I mean, they have really, really good vocals. They are great singers. They are great performers, and they are great singer-songwriters, you know? I recognize that they have talent. I'm not going to hate somebody because I don't like their music. And I think that goes doubly for these people who are, you know, disliked for all these radical things they're doing. I mean, how many awful things have been said about Lady Gaga when she's just, you know, pushing the envelope and, you know, being true to herself and showing everybody that weird is good and weird can get you really far in life, and you should embrace your weirdness because, you know, she's weird too, and look at how successful she is. And she's talented. I mean, seriously, have you heard her sing? And like, I mean, I know that a lot of people are like, oh yeah, well that's all in the recording studio and auto-tune and shit like that. And I mean, like, yeah, when you're singing in the studio, you obviously have a lot of chances to get it right, and obviously every performer has you know, off days and off performances where they don't sound top notch and they're out of tune and stuff like that, and that's not something that you can get around. That happens to everyone. But I've heard a lot of those people live, and they're incredible live, like absolutely incredible. And I mean, especially with Miley Cyrus, like, I would kill to have her voice. I mean, I can't sing that high and, like, belt it out. I can't do that. I can only go that high when I'm, singing softly. I mean, so jealous of her voice. And I listened to Wrecking Ball without the music, just the vocals. Gave me goosebumps. Absolutely incredible. And I mean, I think people get distracted by, the media storm around these people, and they get distracted by their personal lives and what they're doing and who they're doing it with, and I mean, what they're wearing and all sorts of this, their families, their friends. There's all sorts of this stuff that influences people, and I think that's not okay. I mean, in my point of view, it doesn't matter if you have somebody who is, it is for a living, they make and sell music, right? They're singer-songwriters, they're performers, they're artists. That's what they're called, artists. And I don't think that it matters what they wear or what they do or what type of stuff they do, as long as their music is good. Just like, I don't care if a politician cheats on his wife or sleeps around or has a drug problem or anything, I don't care about that. If you are a good politician, then I will continue to vote for you. I don't care about your personal life. It matters how you do your job, not how you live your life. And the same goes for musicians. And the same goes for actors. If you do your job well, I will like you. It doesn't matter what you do in your personal life. If you do your job well, then that's okay. And I mean, there are plenty of people who I'm like, terrible actor, great person, or be like, I don't even care if she never acts again. She's adorable and she's, like, such a great person. And I mean, like, you can tell that when, you've got, and I think that's important too, but I don't know. It really bothered me that my brother's just like, I can't believe that you're singing Miley Cyrus. It's like, you're a 16-year-old boy. You don't know anything about anything. I'm sorry. Like, go back to school. I mean, I just think that, especially right now, Miley is getting an incredible amount of flack. And, she's just trying to be true to herself. And she's just trying to be a positive role model and show people that, even though she's doing it in a way that many people wouldn't agree with, she's showing people that, do what you want and it doesn't matter what other people think. Because right now, I mean, there's no such thing as bad publicity. I mean, even though you've got all these people who are, gunning for her and saying all these bad things about her, I mean, everybody wants to interview her. Everybody wants to have her perform. Everybody's trying to get a piece of her right now because she's so, she's such a big topic right now. I mean, I'm sure that the paparazzi are getting way more money for pictures of Miley than, some other celebrity, because it's just like, she's so on right now. And I absolutely love her. I think that she's a good person. I think that she is, right now, she's focused on music and she's trying to wow people and be different, and she's trying to separate herself from everybody else. And especially in pop music right now, that's very difficult to do. And I say, go Miley, and keep on trucking, keep doing what you're doing. And, same goes for Katy Perry. Do what you're doing. I love it. Same goes for Lady Gaga. You're so weird, but it's awesome. I mean, I think that, especially in this society, you've got, especially the women who are in this industry, get all sorts of flack for all sorts of things that the men don't get. I mean, nobody cares what the guys are wearing or who they're sleeping with or what their performances are like, but you've got all this scrutiny on the women, and I say, ladies, keep on being different. Keep on showing them that women rock.